For more than a decade, Dave Kindig and his team at Kindig Design captured the hearts of car enthusiasts around the world. Their show, Bitchin Rides, had become a symbol of craftsmanship, creativity, and authenticity in the world of custom cars. Fans tuned in every week not just for the finished vehicles, but for the stories behind them. The countless hours, the frustration, the triumphs, and the dedication required to transform ordinary metal into automotive masterpieces. However, after 11 seasons, Dave Kindig made a shocking announcement in November 2024 that left fans stunned. Bitchin Rides was officially ending. The revelation didn't come after declining ratings, creative exhaustion, or a lack of interest from viewers. It came from forces far beyond the shop floor, in boardrooms and corporate offices, where decisions were made that would ripple through the automotive television world. What had started as a small shop in Utah had grown into a global phenomenon, inspiring countless people to appreciate the art of automotive restoration. But the final curtain had fallen, and the reasons behind it were far more complex than anyone realized. Dave's announcement, delivered through Instagram, blindsided not only the audience but also the team he had worked with for years. Fans were left asking the same question: why now? The answer, as Dave later explained in interviews, had less to do with creativity and more to do with business. Behind the scenes, the show had been greenlit for future seasons, with production plans firmly in place, yet everything came to an abrupt halt. Kindig Design had built its reputation on authenticity, refusing to rush projects or compromise quality for the sake of television drama. Unlike other automotive programs that stage scenes or force builds to meet a tight filming schedule, Bitchin Rides operated under one crucial principle. The cars were built for real customers, not for the cameras. This approach had earned the show praise from enthusiasts and professionals alike. However, it also created unique challenges. The shop operated on reality, where parts arrived late, unexpected problems emerged during teardowns, and solutions often took weeks to engineer correctly. Television, on the other hand, runs on deadlines, schedules, and content arcs. Try to align these two worlds was like forcing two gears that didn't fit. Eventually, the pressure began to show. This tension between artistry and audience expectation, between perfection and production, would eventually play a key role in why the show had to end. Adding to the pressure were legal battles that challenged the very foundation of Dave's business. In 2022, over 30 chiropractors filed a lawsuit against Kindig Design, alleging fraud and breach of contract. They claimed that after paying substantial deposits for a 1974 Dodge Charger restoration, they had received little progress and poor communication. While the shop had been meticulously building other vehicles featured on television, these clients felt neglected, believing their project had been deprioritized in favor of media exposure. Dave later explained that these allegations were exaggerated, pointing to unforeseen pandemic delays, supply chain issues, and the complexity of managing multiple high-end builds simultaneously. Nevertheless, the lawsuit underscored a crucial reality. Running a business while simultaneously filming a television show was a balancing act with little margin for error. Every project required precision, expertise, and time, and when public reception didn't match the reality inside the shop, misunderstandings could escalate quickly. The legal pressures weren't new to Dave either. Years before, he'd faced another high-stakes battle when he sued Creative Controls Incorporated for copyright infringement on patented automotive designs. That case had dragged on for years, costing significant time and money, teaching Dave in the world of high-end custom cars. Success attracts scrutiny, and protecting a legacy requires constant vigilance. Corporate dynamics added yet another layer of complication. The end of Bitchin Rides wasn't merely about the lawsuits or production challenges. It was also about a massive corporate merger between Warner Brothers and Discovery. When the two media giants combined, they began reevaluating every asset under their newly unified umbrella. Motor Trend Network, the platform that aired Bitchin Rides, suddenly found itself caught in a strategic shift toward broad entertainment and scalable streaming content. Despite the show's loyal fan base, consistent viewership, and ongoing production of new episodes, automotive programming was deemed non-core. The decision wasn't a reflection of ratings or audience interest. It was a cold business choice based on spreadsheets, corporate synergy, and long-term strategy. This abrupt move left production teams and independent contractors without work and forced projects mid-production to halt indefinitely. For a show that prided itself on authenticity and the ability to show real-time progress of builds, this sudden shutdown felt like a betrayal, both to the creators and the fans who had followed the journey for years. Even as the network pulled the plug, Dave and his team didn't lose their drive. He had always insisted that Bitchin Rides be more than a TV show. It was a representation of the philosophy: craftsmanship over convenience, quality over speed, and authenticity over spectacle. This principle guided every build, from the simplest restoration to the most ambitious, Riddler Award-winning projects. The CF1 program, a line of custom cars inspired by the 1953 Corvette, became his new focus after television ended. Each CF1 car blended classic design with modern engineering, ensuring no two were alike. Perhaps most surprisingly, Dave's third CF1 vehicle became an electric hot rod, signaling his willingness to innovate even in the realm of traditional performance vehicles. With 580 horsepower and 3,650 foot-pounds of torque, the CF1 Electric challenged preconceived notions of what a hot rod could be. For Dave, this project was both a personal statement and a continuation of his commitment to pushing boundaries, even outside the constraints of televised builds. The end of Bitchin Rides also shed light on the unseen realities of television. While viewers saw polished, finished cars in key dramatic moments, they rarely glimpsed the thousands of hours spent adjusting panels, perfecting metalwork, and resolving unexpected challenges. Every project required problem-solving, collaboration, and decision-making that didn't fit neatly into a 60-minute episode. The cameras captured the highlights, but much of the effort, the failures, the debates, and the technical adjustments, remained invisible. Dave's insistence on building perfection, regardless of time or cost, meant that not every project could progress at the same pace. Some cars, particularly those not featured on TV, inevitably had to wait. This reality created tension with clients who measured progress against televised builds, even as the shop maintained its legendary standard of quality. Behind the gleaming custom cars and award-winning builds, Kindig Design faced significant legal pressures that shaped its trajectory. One of the most publicized challenges came in 2022, when over 30 chiropractors filed a lawsuit against the company. They had commissioned a 1974 Dodge Charger restoration, paying over $230,000 in deposits toward a $670,000 project. According to the plaintiffs, progress was minimal. They received only the shell of the car, with little to no work done on the drivetrain, interior, or other functional components. Attempts to communicate with the shop reportedly met with silence or evasive answers, creating frustration and resentment. From the outside, it looked like the shop was prioritizing television exposure over customer satisfaction, but the reality was more nuanced. The same year, Bitchin Rides was in its 10th season, meaning Dave and his team were managing dozens of high-end projects simultaneously, many of which were being filmed for an audience of millions. Balancing media demands with meticulous craftsmanship created unavoidable delays, yet the lawsuit painted a picture of negligence, threatening the company's reputation and finances. This wasn't Dave's first brush with high-stakes litigation. Years earlier, in 2014, he had sued Creative Controls Incorporated, a Michigan-based company, for copyright infringement and violation of patented automotive designs. Builders like Dave spend years developing unique systems, perfecting innovative techniques, and creating one-of-a-kind designs. Protecting intellectual property is vital, as competitors can easily replicate ideas without permission. The legal battle dragged on for years, involving motions, jurisdictional debates, and settlement negotiations. Every hour spent in court was an hour not spent in the shop. Every dollar spent on lawyers was a dollar removed from equipment or staff. By the time the case finally closed in 2017, the lesson was clear. Success in the custom car industry makes you a target, and defending your creative work is as challenging as building the cars themselves. These legal experiences helped shape Dave's approach, reinforcing the importance of integrity, precision, and protecting his brand, even when facing outside pressures. While legal battles strained Kindig Design internally, corporate forces ultimately dictated the fate of Bitchin Rides. In 2024, the merger of Warner Brothers and Discovery reshaped the media landscape, forcing executives to evaluate every asset under the new conglomerate. Motor Trend Network, the channel that had been home to Bitchin Rides, became a casualty of this corporate restructuring. Executives prioritized broad appeal streaming content over niche automotive programming, meaning that even profitable shows with loyal audiences were suddenly deemed non-core. This decision had nothing to do with ratings, talent, or creativity. It was strictly about corporate strategy, budgets, and alignment with new media goals. Production teams, independent contractors, and the passionate automotive community that had grown around the network were left scrambling. Projects already in progress, including the Riddler Award-winning builds, were frozen, leaving Dave and his team to adapt quickly. For a shop that prided itself on authenticity and careful craftsmanship, the abrupt shutdown was more than a setback. It was a profound disruption of an ecosystem that had taken years to cultivate. One of the defining principles of Bitchin Rides was Dave's insistence that his builds were for real customers, not for television drama. Unlike other shows that stage scenes or rush projects to meet deadlines, Kindig Design focused on quality over speed. Yet, this philosophy created tension when the demands of television met the reality of custom car building. Each project required months or even years to complete, with delays caused by part availability, design challenges, and unforeseen technical issues. Television schedules, however, demand progressed drama and narrative arcs within strict timelines. The conflict between these two realities often forced the team to make tough decisions, balancing the expectations of fans with the standards of their craft. While this tension contributed to the show's authenticity and acclaim, also introduced pressure that would play a role in later legal and business complications. Following the end of Bitchin Rides, Dave redirected his energy into the CF1 program, a new line of custom cars inspired by the 1953 Corvette. Each CF1 vehicle combines classic aesthetics with modern engineering, emphasizing individuality through unique color combinations and personalized elements. Perhaps most striking is the third CF1 car, Dave's personal vehicle, which is fully electric. With 580 horsepower and 3,650 foot-pounds of torque, the electric hot rod demonstrates Dave's willingness to innovate while honoring traditional craftsmanship. The CF1 program represents more than a new product line. It's a statement of resilience, creativity, and commitment to excellence, showing that even outside television, Kindig Design continues to push boundaries in automotive design. While audiences witness spectacular builds on television, much of the effort remained invisible. Hours spent adjusting panel gaps, perfecting metalwork, or problem-solving during unexpected challenges were condensed into one-hour episodes. This created a perception gap. Cars featured on TV were prioritized, while other projects, equally important to clients, had to wait. For some, this delay became a source of frustration, culminating in lawsuits and disputes. Dave's philosophy of do it right, no matter the cost, created masterpieces that any mechanic would respect, but also contributed to misunderstandings with clients who expected faster results. The complexity of running a shop, managing employees, satisfying customers, and performing under the scrutiny of cameras was immense. Each car represented not just a project, but the reputation and integrity of Kindig Design. One of the most important but often overlooked aspects of Bitchin Rides was the crew behind the cameras. For over a decade, these individuals weren't just documenting builds. They became part of the family. From the very first season, Dave emphasized authenticity, ensuring that filming never interfered with the actual work. This required a crew that understood cars, respected the process, and could operate discreetly. Pfizer Productions, the company responsible for filming, took this challenge seriously. Their approach was fly-on-the-wall documentation, capturing real moments without staging drama or forcing artificial tension. Over the years, trust developed between the shop and the filmmakers. Crew members knew when to step back, when to focus, and how to highlight the team's craftsmanship without disrupting it. This mutual understanding was rare in reality television, where producers often prioritize sensationalism over authenticity. However, this family dynamic also made the show's abrupt cancellation particularly painful. The corporate decision to end Bitchin Rides left many crew members unemployed almost overnight. These weren't casual contractors. They had invested years of dedication into building the show's identity. For Dave, delivering the news was heartbreaking. The crew had not only witnessed every build, but had shared in the challenges, late nights, problem-solving, and triumphs. The shutdown highlighted a sobering reality. Corporate decisions in the entertainment industry often overlook the human relationships that underpin creative success. For fans, the show was entertainment. For the crew, it was a labor of love, and for Dave, it was an extension of his commitment to quality and authenticity. Perhaps no project better exemplified the artistry and dedication of Kindig design than the Riddler Award-winning build featured in Season 11. Spanning over 4.5 years, this project wasn't just a vehicle. It was a statement. Each component, from the metalwork to the drivetrain, received painstaking attention. Every line, curve, and detail was meticulously engineered to achieve perfection. The Riddler Award is among the most coveted accolades in the custom car world, representing not only skill but vision, innovation, and unwavering commitment. Winning it cemented Dave's status as a master of automotive craftsmanship. However, the timing of the award was bittersweet. Season 11, which was meant to showcase his achievement, became the final farewell for the show. Fans would see the finished product, but much of the journey, the countless hours of adjustments, trial and error, and problem-solving, was condensed or left on the cutting room floor. This reality reinforced a recurring theme. Television can only capture part of the story, while the true scope of effort, skill, and dedication often remains unseen. The Riddler project also illustrated the tensions inherent in high-end custom car building. Dave's commitment to perfection meant that schedules were flexible, budgets were secondary, and quality was paramount. Yet television audiences and networks operate on deadlines, requiring visible progress to maintain engagement. Reconciling these competing timelines was a constant challenge, and it's a tension that eventually contributed to legal disputes and client dissatisfaction. While the show dramatized the creative process, it could never fully convey the magnitude of work, the problem-solving involved, or the daily commitment required to achieve Riddler-level quality. The lawsuits and legal pressures Dave faced over the years offer insights into the complexity of the custom car business. From copyright disputes to client lawsuits, these legal challenges emphasize the importance of protection, communication, and transparency. Dave's early lawsuit against Creative Controls Incorporated underscored how critical intellectual property protection is in the automotive world. Years of innovation can be replicated if legal safeguards are absent. Similarly, the chiropractor's lawsuit revealed the delicate balance between media exposure and client expectations. When projects prioritized for filming received more immediate attention, others inevitably faced delays. Even when these delays were unintentional, they could result in serious disputes. For any high-end builder, these lessons are crucial. Reputation, contract, and proactive communication are just as important as skill and creativity. In addition, the corporate decisions surrounding Bitchin Rides highlighted the fragile nature of media-dependent businesses. Even a successful show with millions of viewers and a devoted fan base can be suddenly terminated due to mergers, strategic shifts, or executive priorities. Dave's experience demonstrates that independent creators must constantly adapt, balancing the pursuit of excellence with the realities of business and industry trends. While Bitchin Rides ended, the lessons learned continue to influence how Dave approaches custom builds, client relations, and media engagement. With the show over, Dave embraced a new era of creativity. The CF1 program, especially the electric CF1 hot rod, represents a bold step into innovation while maintaining the values that define Kindig design. Unlike television projects, these builds are not constrained by deadlines or the need to produce episodic content. This freedom allows for greater experimentation, attention to detail, and the ability to focus on the customer experience. Fans and industry peers have praised the program for its blend of classic aesthetics and cutting-edge technology. The electric CF1, in particular, has sparked discussions about the future of hot rods, showing that even a brand built on traditional craftsmanship can evolve without compromising its core identity. Dave's post-television work also highlights a broader lesson. Success in creative fields requires flexibility and resilience. While media attention can elevate a brand, it also introduces pressures and constraints that can be disruptive. By shifting focus to CF1 and other high-quality projects, Dave has reclaimed control over his work, aligning production with passion rather than programming schedules. This approach ensures that each car, whether traditional or electric, receives the attention, care, and creativity it deserves. Building high-end custom cars is as much about people as it is about metal, paint, and engineering. Over the years, Dave Kindig cultivated a team that was deeply invested in the work and the brand. Employees weren't just workers. They were artisans, technicians, and collaborators who shared a common passion for excellence. However, this commitment came with sacrifices. Long hours, intense pressure, and the need to balance client expectations with television schedules created stress and tension. Every car represented not just a financial investment, but the reputation of the shop, and every mistake, no matter how minor, was amplified under the watchful eyes of cameras and social media. The abrupt end of Bitchin Rides added another layer of challenge. For the crew, the cancellation meant uncertainty, loss of income, and the emotional strain of leaving a project that had become a labor of love. For Dave, it meant finding new ways to channel creativity while maintaining the standards he had set. Yet, the human cost wasn't purely negative. The years spent working together fostered skills, relationships, and knowledge that would carry the team forward. Many former crew members leveraged their experience to pursue new projects, start independent ventures, or join other high-end shops, spreading the influence of Kindig design across the automotive world. Bitchin Rides achieved a rare balance in automotive television. It showcased jaw-dropping builds, winning awards, and captivating designs while staying true to principles of authentic craftsmanship. However, the show also highlighted an important lesson. Television fame and real-world excellence often operate on different timelines. Custom car building is deliberate, methodical, and requires patience. Television, by contrast, demands constant progress, narratives, and visual drama. Reconciling these two realities is difficult, and even a shop as disciplined as Kindig design encountered challenges. Yet, the legacy of Bitchin Rides lies in demonstrating that integrity and authenticity can coexist with mass media exposure, if one is willing to accept the pressures and navigate them carefully. For aspiring builders, this distinction is crucial. Success isn't just about media attention or flashy designs. It's about commitment, attention to detail, and the ability to manage expectations. Dave's career illustrates that reputation is earned over years of consistent quality, and that legal, financial, and corporate pressures are inevitable aspects of running a high-profile business. By prioritizing quality over expedience, Dave set a standard that elevated the entire industry, inspiring both peers and fans. Although the show has ended, the impact of Bitchin Rides resonates across the automotive world. It transformed Kindig design from a regional shop into an internationally recognized brand. It also helped make custom car culture more accessible to mainstream audiences, inspiring a new generation of builders, enthusiasts, and fans. Vehicles that were once viewed as niche or unattainable became aspirational symbols of artistry and engineering. The influence extends beyond television. Other shops and builders have adopted Kindig design's principles, emphasizing authenticity, high-quality craftsmanship, and customer-centric processes. The show's influence can also be seen in car shows, automotive expos, and even in social media communities dedicated to custom car culture. The Riddler award-winning projects, the CF1 program, and the countless vehicles built over 2 decades ensure that Kindig design's name will endure. Even without the spotlight of television, Dave's work continues to set benchmarks for quality, innovation, and creativity. Fans may miss the drama of weekly episodes, but the essence of the shop, the artistry, passion, and precision, remains intact. In many ways, the end of the show allows Dave and his team to return to the purest form of custom car building, free from external pressures, schedules, and broadcast demands. The story of Dave Kindig and Bitchin Rides offers valuable lessons for anyone interested in custom cars, entrepreneurship, or creative industries. First, success requires resilience. Dave faced lawsuits, corporate decisions beyond his control, and high-stakes pressures, yet he continued to innovate and create. Second, integrity matters. By refusing to compromise quality for television or quick profits, he maintained the shop's reputation and set new industry standards. Third, relationships are crucial. Crew, clients, and collaborators form the backbone of any creative venture, and investing in those connections pays dividends over time. Finally, innovation should never stop. The CF1 program, especially the electric hot rod, shows that embracing new technology while honoring tradition can propel a business forward. Even in the face of setbacks and reflecting on this journey, it becomes clear that the story of Bitchin Rides is not just about a television show. It's about passion, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Dave Kindig's journey illustrates that fame may fade, Shows may end and legal challenges may arise, but true craftsmanship leaves a lasting mark. The vehicles, awards, and influence he has created ensure that the legacy of Kindig design will continue for decades, inspiring future generations of builders to dream bigger, work harder, and prioritize quality above all else. The end of Bitchin Rides marked the close of an era in automotive television, but also highlighted the enduring values of craftsmanship, integrity, and innovation. Dave Kindig's journey, from legal battles and corporate upheavals to award-winning builds and pioneering electric hot rods, demonstrates that success is about more than fame or ratings. It's about vision, skill, and the people who make it possible. While the cameras may no longer roll, the heart of Kindig design continues to beat strongly, proving that the pursuit of perfection is timeless, and true artistry can never be canceled. Behind every gleaming car, every meticulously polished panel, and every jaw-dropping reveal, there's an untold story of emotional and personal sacrifice. For Dave Kindig, the pressures of running a high-profile custom shop while filming a reality show were immense. Every decision carried weight, not just for the quality of the build, but for the reputation of the shop, the satisfaction of clients, and morale of the team. Long nights, problem-solving under pressure, and managing multiple projects simultaneously became the norm. The stress wasn't purely professional. It was deeply personal. Dave often found himself balancing the expectations of clients paying hundreds of thousands of dollars with the demands of television production, where cameras capture every mistake and every moment of hesitation. This meant that perfection wasn't just an ideal, it was a requirement, and failure was never an option. Over time, the cumulative pressure began to take its toll, both physically and mentally. The weight of lawsuits, corporate mergers, and client dissatisfaction added layers of complexity that no builder could have anticipated. Yet despite these challenges, Dave's commitment never wavered. He invested himself fully into every project, ensuring that the shop's reputation for excellence remained intact. The emotional investment extended beyond the vehicles themselves. Relationships with his crew, who became like family over the years, demanded patience, leadership, and empathy. Celebrating triumphs, navigating setbacks, and making tough decisions about priorities often involved delicate conversations. Yet every challenge was met with resilience. These sacrifices, though unseen by the television audience, shaped the identity of Kindig design. The late nights spent perfecting welds, the endless revisions to paint schemes, the sleepless hours calculating torque and alignment. Each moment reflected a devotion to craft that extended beyond fame or awards. Ultimately, it is this unrelenting pursuit of excellence, paired with profound respect for both his team and his clients, that cemented Dave's legacy as not only a master builder, but also a leader who turned a workshop into a family and a television series into a testament of authenticity in an industry often dominated by spectacle and shortcuts. Despite the relentless pressure, Dave Kindig never allowed the weight of expectations to stifle innovation. Every build was an opportunity to push boundaries, experiment with new techniques, and elevate the art of custom automotive design. Whether it was engineering complex suspension systems, crafting unique body panels, or integrating modern technology into classic car frameworks,